In case I do decide to post this, this will probably be the first YouTube video regarding gym vlogs, lifestyle, just anything really that I do. I don't have the tripod at the moment. It just got delivered this morning. So I won't be using a tripod to record this lift, which is going to be legs, and I have to put an emphasis on stretching and physical therapy beforehand. So hip flexor is messed up, likely from a heavy squat set I did a month ago, and I've been trying to get that recovered. And I use a little bit more controlled and slower tempo, more supported machines and types of lifts for legs, so I don't, further my injury, and I'm not going completely 100% on weight on everything, but I do keep everything still pretty intense. But I guess the point of these videos is to share my progress, record my progress, and kind of just, demonstrate what I've learned over the years of lifting. I'm no expert when it comes to moving heavy weight, but I know that I've been able to keep a good diet for a while, and I'm not shredded, but I have a lot of knowledge that I've built up and acquired, and just kind of want to record what's going on. I think it'll be pretty fun. So yeah, on to Planet Fitness. I am not entirely certain where these videos will go, what the point of them is really going to be as of right now. I kind of really just want to have fun with it. I really like the way that Sam Sulek does his vlogs, and like the way that he creates his videos. Super simple, no like crazy edits or like time stops. And he kind of just rambles, which that's, I think, what I really like about him. I haven't watched one of his videos in a while, so I'm not entirely certain if the way that he creates and edits videos is the same as I remember, but like early 2025, late 2024, that's when I was big on watching him, and I really enjoyed his content a lot. I did switch gyms recently. I was at Planet Fitness in Oakley, so I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio, and now I'm going to the gym, Planet Fitness in Sharonville, I believe is what it's called. It's near where I work. It's closer, and it's more on the way home, and it's less crowded. The lighting's always better in there. It's never really harsh on my eyes, which is what I really appreciate about that gym, more than the one in Oakley. But it's also one story, which is really lovely. The Planet Fitnesses that are 2 stories really irk me, just because some of the machines that I use like less frequently, I suppose, but still need to use them every now and again. It's just kind of annoying having to walk upstairs and do a couple sets on the machine, then come right back down just to do my next exercise, because I like to lay my program out to use the most energy I have for like what I feel is important to me, and then once I progress later into the lift, I like to use stuff that I still need energy for, but I'm not directing my main attention and focus to that particular muscle or muscle group, part of my body, what have you. Yeah, today, I only have one pre-workout at the moment. Can get into that in a sec. I have Seabums, blue raspberry, sour, and rockin' Helomix for a minute. I like Helomix. I used to use something from like the vitamin shop, where it had the metal ball inside, and no matter how fine the pre-workout was or rough and coarse, it would always clump up, and it pissed me off so much because then it would make the bottle smell even more. Like once you're done, you might forget to rinse it out after you're done, and you leave it in your bag for a couple days over the weekend or something. It's just stinky. This one's nice though, because there's no way for it to really clump. But the reason I only have one pre-workout at the moment is due to the fact when I went to visit my friend in Alabama, my pre-workout got taken by TSA. It didn't pass one of their tests, and I had to throw it away. It was tragic because it was pretty much brand new. I had maybe taken a couple scoops. It was like $45. I was like, this is, I can't do anything about it. It's just so upsetting though. My main concern for this, vlog recording in particular is that I don't have a tripod to mount my phone onto, and trying to get the angle for some of these lifts might be kind of challenging. But it is kind of nice though, because then you can make it a little bit more subtle to record, which is another thing I'm worried about. Talking to a camera hasn't really been difficult yet. It's not something I've ever done or tried before, vlogging if you will. But I don't know, it is kind of nice doing that, but in a public setting though, it might be a little bit of a different kind of mindset for me. But not having a tripod, you can prop your phone up against a water bottle or put it on top of a machine and just mount your phone that way. I don't know though. It's something new. Last thing I'll mention before cut to the gym is I'm not entirely sure if I will be recording the physical therapy that I intend to do, because it might take a while, honestly. Furthermore, with this vlog and future videos that I create and have to edit, I'm not entirely certain whether or not I will record every set that I do. I don't know how long I intend these videos to be. It would be cool to get different angles of some of the lifts that I'm doing. So definitely at the minimum record 1, but hopefully minimum 2 sets per exercise that I complete, just so I can get multiple angles. But my split for a while has been super high intensity. Someone's beeping up there. Super high intensity, but lower amount of sets, working sets that is, and everything's pretty much in the 6 to 8 rep range for what I want to do. Sometimes I'm like 4 to 5 if I'm going like really heavy, or if I like really am having a hard time feeling a contraction, muscular contraction, I'll go, upwards of 10 to 15, sometimes pushing 20, but I rarely am working outside the 6 to 8 rep range. I think most of the time when I am, it's either one when I think I can do more, and I just give out, I just can't, which, poor mindset on my part, but my body's only capable so much. But on the other hand, sometimes I think I can't, and then I do, which is always a nice benefit. But when you're really trying to stay within that specific rep range, it's not that it's not ideal, but it's not what I have been going for a while. Yeah. So pulling into the gym now, and we'll see you at the first lift.
So at this point, I had realized that the microphone situation is not going to be working for the gym, solely based on the fact that, one, I wouldn't be able to create enough decibels for the camera to pick up, just because of my headset being connected and it being on top of my head. It wouldn't be able to pick up my voice very well, and I didn't want to scream while I was at the gym just to get my words across, and to the copyright issue of the Planet Fitness background music. I was worried about the fact that it could potentially get me a strike. But anyway, voiceover, starting off the leg day with some warm up here. Did a couple sets of this leg extension that is resisted by a lightweight band. I have it only on my problem area, hip flexor leg, and I also was trying to hold on to the metal D handle on this machine just for more support so I didn't fall over because the band was pulling me backwards. But I did a couple sets of these throughout the whole workout. I didn't record every single set. I don't think I recorded a single warm-up set of my actual lift. I only recorded some of the working sets, so just a fair warning, heads up on that. After that, I did something a little bit more interesting. My sister was doing PT bachelor's originally and switched majors, and she gave me this as some of the exercises to do. I'm still talking on the camera at this point still, because I thought I could make the audio come through, but I quickly realized that it wasn't going to work, but here I'm just lifting my legs only with my hip flexor over this dumbbell. It's about like a foot off the ground, and on my problem area hip, I also have a 5-pound kettlebell attached to my toe. Kind of just tucked it on there, nice and snug so it wouldn't fall off. And I did this just so I can have some extra resistance and really warm my hip flexors for some of the movements that I was going to do throughout the lift. Throughout this leg day, I chose movements that are more supportive and less likely to create an injury. Started off with doing some hack squats. I have 2 plates on each side loaded up, and the starting weight is 125, bringing the total to 305. Did this for 6 reps, I believe, and you can tell that I'm going super controlled just because I want to really minimize the risk of injury for this lift. There was a little bit of pain throughout the movement, this movement in particular, just because getting that kind of depth on any squat pattern really was creating problems for my hip flexor. I used to be able to do 400 pounds for, I think I maxed out at 12 reps about a year ago, and I only recently started having this hip flexor problem. It's really limited my capability of lifting heavier weights, but next I ended up doing some Bulgarian split squats. I believe the starting weight was 45, and I have a plate at 10 loaded up, making total 155. I believe I did this for 8 reps on each side. This one definitely did not cause as many issues, thankfully. I think it has to do a lot with the range of motion that I was getting. I was still putting a lot of tension on my quads, but I wasn't going more than 90 degrees, really. Just a really slow, methodical, and controlled movement. Make my way over to the other side. This leg day I didn't have the tripod either, so the angles are kind of a little bit funky. Setting my phone up with my water bottle. I really enjoy this machine for the fact that you can load up the sides as heavy as you want, but more so the stability on the foot you have propped up on the padding. Doing this on a bench, it's kind of weird trying to get your foot balanced, but this one's nice because you can kind of curl your shin over the padding, and it creates a little bit more stability that way. This is probably the funkiest angle of all of them. Trying to record a leg extension without a tripod was nearly impossible, and I managed to prop my phone up on top of the machine. I think some of this is being cut off due to the fact that I film this in portrait mode as well. I wasn't thinking about it going into the recording, but I didn't want to switch up the mode of recording, whether portrait or landscape. I wanted to keep it the same throughout the entire lift, so I started with portrait, ended with portrait. Did these with one leg. I believe it was somewhere from 6 to 8 reps. I don't recall exactly. Start with the right leg, end with the left. I think I did 160 pounds. And then one of the working sets I didn't display, I did 145 for the second set. I don't remember which set this is. But the machine only goes up to 250, and I can lift more then 250 for both legs, so I wanted to use one leg, and I have been doing that for a while now. Done with the quads, move on to the hamstrings, and normally I do 2 hamstring movements, mainly a hinge of some sort, whether it's a barbell, dumbbell, or ground base RDL. Don't do deadlifts much anymore, but that also is considered technically a hamstring movement. It's really preparing for this lift just because I have 275 loaded on the bar. It's my top working set. I'll normally do a couple sets for this, but I hadn't done this heavy of a weight in a while. And I didn't have a whole lot of warm-up prior to this, just because I was pretty fatigued at this point from all of the other exercises prior. Still felt really good overall. I ended up actually skipping the second movement, which is typically a leg curl seated. I don't really do the laying ones just because it's kind of uncomfortable for me, and also filming it's a little bit awkward. But I got this for, I think, 7 reps, which was pretty nice. It felt really good after the fact until my legs started cramping, which was another reason why I decided to opt out of the leg curls. And I ended the day with some standing calf raises, also in a really funky angle. This would have been pretty difficult to record without a stand of some sort. I didn't have the tripod still, so put my phone on top of the machine and try to get my calves in the picture. Does not look like that's the case, but I got this for more than my typical working set. I believe I did 230 pounds resting on my shoulders, and I like this machine just because the weight is resting on top of your shoulders. But that was the end of the lift. I did a tiny bit of posing in the bathroom mirror just to see if my legs were still pumped, if I felt good. But that pretty much wraps up everything that I recorded inside the gym. It's a decent lift overall.
I really didn't get a whole lot of filming today for multiple reasons. One, this is my first time doing this. 2, my phone has been under 20% since I got to the gym, which I didn't even consider how much battery recording would consume. And 3, I felt a little bit awkward, trying to get the right angles without a tripod. So hopefully tomorrow, if I choose to record the next session, which will be one of 2, chest and back or shoulders and arms, hopefully it'll be a little bit more in depth. I can be a little bit more comfortable recording myself lift. I definitely will have said it in the voiceover, pretty much all of that, but on top of everything, the lift got cut short. When I was doing RDLs, I hadn't done that much weight in a while. I've been doing dumbbells for a bit just to try something new, but the dumbbells at Planet Fitness only go up to 75 pounds. And in today's lift, my top set, my only working set, was 275 for 7. And it felt really good in the moment, and I actually lifted it really well. Pretty controlled, I would say. But after, when I was just walking to the next machine, which was going to be seated leg curls, 1, they were full. 2, I felt, oh shoot, I'm cramping in my hamstring, my right hamstring. So on top of my left hip flexor being pretty cooked right now my right hamstring is falling apart on me. It's cramping. So I did calves instead of the seated leg curls. And after I did calves, one of them opened up. So I hopped on to get a little warm up going, and it just didn't feel good. So I just said, let's cut it short. My phone's gonna die anyway. But overall, it was a decent lift for, all things considered. Made it out before sunset. I've realized that when I have my phone plugged into my car, it doesn't capture audio, I'm pretty sure. So that will be another problem in the future. I have to have a pretty charged phone in order to make it a round trip before lift to after lift if I start to record and drive at the same time. Well, I set my phone over there and speak, but instead I'm parked still outside the Planet Fitness, just giving my thoughts on the lift. Yeah. Hopefully it goes well tomorrow, and I cut the video here.